Welcome to Dropping Diamonds with me, AJ Andrews, where we dive headfirst into the world of softball. Today, we are joined by one of my favorite people on earth, favorite people within softball. She is an LMU Hall of Famer, an AU Pro Softball PEC chairperson. She's a World Cup of Softball gold medalist and one of 7 to appear in 100 games or more in AUX and Championship Series. She's completed 8 seasons of AU Pro Softball, and after hanging up her cleats, she now has the role of manager of softball operations for AUSL. She is the one. She's the only. She's the incomparable. She's the formidable. She is the no one can compare to. Sam Fischer. Hey,
Wow.
Sam.
That was lovely. I think we can call it an episode after that. Like, yeah. Thank you. Great. I loved every second of that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. I honestly don't feel like I did enough, to be honest, to talk about you.
You're amazing.
Well, Sam, to start off every podcast, I typically like to start with a quote or affirmation. And so one of the ones that I thought of with you, because if there's one thing when we talk about someone that just will never give up on their favorite pitch, it is Sam Fischer. Okay. She has never seen a rise ball she doesn't like. And so the quote that I thought of today would be, some days will be as low as the sickest drop ball, and some will be as high as the most amazing rise ball. But every day is a chance to keep swinging. And that's really the only way to put the ball in play.
I love that. I love that.
Chirp, chirp,
and
chirp.
I agree with it completely. Yeah.
If we were going to grab an affirmation from that, what do you think like our affirmation for the day would be?
Swing hard, baby.
Swing hard, baby. Just look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Swing. Hey, it may be high today and it may be low. Either way, we're going to swing hard, baby.
Yeah. You can.
Perfect.
You know what? If you can believe you can hit it, then you go for it. Like, you're going to hit it.
Ooh, I like it. Swing hard,
I like it too,
baby. If you believe.
I'm gonna put that on a Post-it note on my bathroom mirror. Just boom.
I love it. First of all, can we talk about the rise ball? Why is that your favorite pitch?
It's just right at my eyes. Like, I feel like I could see it the best, you know? Like, if you're making eye contact with something, wouldn't you want it as close to your face as possible? You know, like, I could see it the best. And it's just, they go with the farthest, AJ. I've talked about this a lot, where it's like, the reinforcement that I get from when I do hit one is that it's just gone. It's like, all right, I'm going to keep swinging at him. Yeah, done. So, yeah.
Every miss from swinging at a rise ball is worth every connection.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Has that always been your favorite pitch?
You know what's so funny is I truly
You're so good
have
at the low balls.
I love the low balls.
You're so good at the low ones.
That is so nice of you to point out, because I have, like, if it's close to me, it's my favorite pitch. I don't care. I want, like I'm not picky. I think that anybody who has ever seen me play can attest to that. Like, hey, if it's near me, all right, sure, let it rip.
I love it. Just swing hard, baby. Just literally embody the quote. Low, high, doesn't matter. Swing hard, baby. What do you think is the
near
key
me? I'm going for it.
To hitting the rise ball, then, to being able to actually make the connection?
Gosh, I think a lot of it is like, you're already there. Like, you think about where you hold your hands as a hitter, you're literally already there. You actually have to do less to hit a rise ball. You see it and you just deliver yourself to it. You know, it's already at your hands level, and you're just like, all right, it's up there. It's going to be fast. It's going to do the work for you. And then boom, you just smack it out of the park.
Is there one that's maybe the better ones to swing at before it like takes that jump and it's like, okay, now it looks silly?
Yeah, you know, those low rise balls, those are really risky as a pitcher, I think, because that's right in the wheelhouse where it's like, if it's at my shoulders, all right, we're in trouble. But if it starts at the shoulders, that's when I think it's a harder pitch to hit, because it's going to jump up to your eyes. You know, it's going to jump up higher. But the ones that start at your letters, it's a smart pitch, but it's a real risky pitch because it's going to end up right at your hands.
That's so funny. As someone that's typically a speed player and like stuff, that anything that starts that high is just an immediate no. And then you're just like, absolutely, will not
Exactly.
resist
Yes.
this pitch.
No, no, never. And if I take it, it usually takes every ounce in my body to not
Yeah,
swing or
no,
till I like
you
fall
can see
down.
it. I was just gonna say, literally, like your entire body like convulges
Yeah.
down when you're trying to take that pitch. When you would always tell me you
Yeah.
really wanted a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very much like, yes, 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 yes. Oh,
No.
no.
Hey, that's how we're taught to be, though, right? Yes, yes,
Very
yes,
true.
no till the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So just keep your hands on top and swing hard, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right
Thanks,
there. Just
Roswell.
do it. Don't
Just do it.
complicate it.
Right. Don't think too much.
Yeah.
What first drew you to softball? You grew up in Simi Valley?
See me. See
Simi
Valley.
Valley.
Yeah.
And what really said for Sam, this is the sport for me? I'm going all in for softball.
Honestly, I think it started with my dad, who was like, let's play catch in the backyard. And then from there, it was like, wait, this is so fun. And then we would, hit the wiffle, we had like a wiffle ball bat and wiffle ball where we'd, hit it around the backyard. And then I hit it over the neighbor's fence one day. And I'm like, that's it. That's all I need. That feeling? Are you kidding me? I was excited to go knock on the neighbor's door, be like, "Hey, I hit my ball over here. Can I get it back and try again?"
No
So,
sandlot for you. It's like, no, I'm getting all my balls. I need you to
yeah.
know that I hit it over here, actually. This isn't for me.
Once
This is more so that you know the power that I
yeah,
have where the ball
yeah.
landed.
This 5-year-old next door, yeah, she's hitting it over your fence, dog. So, that just the feeling and like playing catch with my dad, like there's just there's the line that you see over and over, like how can you not be romantic about baseball? And I just feel that so deeply, like about softball, that like there's nothing like having a catch, and there's like to me it sucked me in immediately, and then the more I played and, the byproduct of practicing and enjoying it and getting better and playing better. And it just was like, I was toast at 4 years old. I was like, all right, this is going to be my entire life and my entire personality. Thanks.
What drew you to the infield? I mean, you've played, whether it's first base, shortstop, third base, you have been all over the infield. Which one was your favorite?
Shortstop.
Yeah.
My heart and soul is at shortstop. I love the dirt. I like the feel of the crunch under the spikes, but also the action. Like my attention span is made for the infield. It's I'm it's quick. I'm yapping. I'm talking to people next to me. It very much, I just loved being close to the action, and most of the time at shortstop, like involved in a lot of the action. So, my heart and soul is right in there on the dirt.
Everything started on the dirt from 4 years
Yeah.
old to hitting to your neighbors to let the world know I'm going to be really good at softball, by the way. Then going to Loyola Marymount, where you really
Yeah.
made your mark and let not just your neighbors know, but the entire world know that I'm really good at softball. Let me just throw these out for you guys, just in case you weren't sure how amazing Sam. Like when I described her earlier as the formidable, the incomparable. Like I wasn't just trying to be nice. Like I'm being serious. So Sam Fischer, she is the very first All-American from Loyola Marymount. She ended her career as the all-time, hold your breath, all-time home run leader with 65, all-time runs batted in 172, total bases 495, highest batting average 387, slugging percentage 786, on base percentage 494. You thought I was done, I am not. Runs scored 194, doubles 52, and walks 127. Oh wait, there's more. Sam Fischer led NCAA Division I in batting average with 492 and a 665 on base percentage as a senior. That was before all the technology of now. Like now you see it's like normal to see girls with 400 batting averages. To have a 400 to be batting basically 500 was unimaginable back when we were playing in college, before we had all the new stuff that helps you get better. So, yes, the quite literally formidable Sam Fisher making your
That's
mark.
fun.
You like that one? We
Yeah,
can, that's
that's good.
why
Thank you.
I knew you'd want us to keep going because I had more. I had more to say about you. I was
Oh,
like, there's so
I
much
held my
more to
breath.
talk. Right.
Thank you.
Sam, going to LMU and having the career that you had, what do you attribute that to?
Honestly, I feel like I would attribute it to just like honestly being myself and like following my heart and following my passion. And I love softball and LMU. And I also am very, my gosh, even like, especially when I was in high school and younger, such a homebody. Like my dream day was staying home. So I couldn't imagine going far away across the country to school. So I narrowed down the search very simply to Southern California because I didn't want to be farther than a drive away from home. But staying true to myself and like, hey man, like I love softball. If I want to accomplish these goals that I've set for myself, here's how I have to do it. And I have to work hard and I have to sacrifice, maybe some other things for the love that I have for this sport and for the love that I have for performing and for wanting to be the best that I can be. And luckily, LMU was the program that allowed me to be myself and to grow and to get better without losing that sense of self. Like what made me Sam Fisher going into college was able to stay the same. And I was able to, harness that and still leaving LMU be the, who I was as Sam Fisher was still there. So it was a perfect combination of allowing me to grow, but allowing me to stay true to myself also.
What I think is also so cool and a testament to your story is oftentimes when you're young and you're getting recruited, you're thinking, I got to go to the biggest school, or the only way for me to make an
Mm-hmm.
impact is for me to be at a Power Five. Like these are the things that I have to do. And you're
Mm-hmm.
able to go, you are a testament that that is not the case, right? You can be on
Yeah.
Team USA, you can be a professional softball player, you can do all these things, have all these accolades, have the highest batting average in the entire country, and not be at a Power Five school. And if you were to
Mm-hmm.
give advice to someone that is struggling with maybe not being recruited by these top schools, but to still be able to go out and say, listen, this could actually be the best thing for you, what would you say to them?
Mm-hmm. Truly, there's nothing that you can't accomplish if you put your mind to it, but also put the work in. Like there's a lot to be said about having goals and setting goals, but the other side of that is like go out and do the work. Like I went home every weekend in the fall to work out extra with my dad. Like I didn't go to all the college stuff, and I mean I probably missed out on some things like that. Like obviously I'm a little bit of an extremist, so take it with a grain of salt, but putting in the extra work. Like we didn't have lights at LMU when I was in college, so I would stay after practice until the sun went down until I couldn't physically practice anymore because it would be dangerous. So
That
I,
is
I
the only
think
reason
that,
why she did it. Yeah.
yeah, no, I would have still done it if I could see the ball. But I really think that it's not about where you go, it's about who you are. And was it maybe harder? It was definitely less traveled, that's for sure, the path that I took. But I had a goal of being an All-American, even though it had never been done at LMU. And the only thing that could have stopped me was myself. If I said, oh, well, nobody's ever done it, it's not possible. It's like, that's not the end of the story. Somebody has to do the first of something. So I really think it's not about where you go, it's about who you are. There are perks to going to a big school when it comes to having big dreams, but it's not everything. You still have to go and work your tush off. But LMU I think we've talked about it a lot. Sorry, this is a long-winded answer. We've talked about it a lot, like me and my dad, about, man, how cool would it have been to go to like an SEC school and like fight for a natty, or just things like that where you can go and just be so big time. Like it would have been so cool. I mean, my gosh, I do think about it a lot. But going to the pride that I feel of what I've been able to do and going to LMU, which turned out to be just like the most amazing 4 years, I love that place, and to know that I was able to still accomplish all of that, it brings me so much pride that if I was given the opportunity, like genie in a bottle, said, all right, what's your one wish? I would wish to go to LMU again.
I want to reiterate what you said. It's not where you go, but who you are. They're saying not where
Hmm.
you go, but who
Yeah,
you are. When you think about
totally.
who you were, how would you define yourself as the player at LMU that then accomplished all that you were able to accomplish?
Man, that 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 was a kid who just loved softball. Like she would do anything for softball. I like, sorry, can't go do this with you guys. I'm going to practice. Like, you talk about sacrifice, like that you're missing out on something, and that's very true for me. Like there were things that I missed out on. I would not sugarcoat it. Like birthday parties. I've missed like weddings and babies being born and all these things in life, right? And I would say this to my friends' faces, but like, man, winning a gold medal with Team USA, worth it.
Yeah.
Girl, I'd miss it again. Like, I I I feel like there's a lot of times where if you make decisions that are for yourself, it comes across as selfish. But I only ever wanted to put my best foot forward and do the things that bring me joy and make me really happy. And that kid at LMU was happy all the time. She was out there playing college softball. She was out there practicing extra and making memories and just having the time of her life. And it led to all of this. You ask the question of like, what would you tell your younger self? I just be like, girl, you keep going. You keep doing it. Like, people are going to call you a total dork a lot of times or like a softball nerd. And that's a compliment because that's really what, at the end of the day, that's what you are.
It was the saying, it's like whether you are the best businessman or the best street sweeper. And on the tombstone, it should say, "Here lies the best street sweeper that ever lived." Right? You do anything
Yep.
and everything to the best of your ability, no matter what it looks like. I really think that when you talk about your love for softball and being able to go out, I remember endless times when a friend of mine in travel ball, like, so anytime we'd have anything, we were like, "Yeah, sorry, can't softball." Like, that was like we should have, we
That's it.
always talk about as adults now, like, we should have made shirts. It's like, "Sorry, can't softball. I have softball." Like, that was literally our lives.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the best sorry I can't I have softball story is that I had my own wedding planned and I signed a contract to go play softball in Japan. I was like to my wedding people, I'm like, sorry, can't, got softball. So I had to like cancel my wedding. Can't
Oh my
softball.
gosh. I feel like that needs to become a new segment. Yeah, what was your best "Sorry, I can't, I have softball"? Like, 'cause I'm sure we all have, like, stories like, "My god, I really wanted to do
Yeah.
this thing, or I coulda done this thing, but I had a
Yes.
softball tournament." And,
Yeah.
I don't think
That's
I've
it.
only gone to one homecoming in high school, and because all the other times,
Same.
yeah, and then it was
Yeah.
my senior year. Like, I was like, "Well, you know what? I should probably do this one time,"
Just once.
before
Yep. Get it out of the way.
it's a wrap. Because
Yeah.
every other time, there was, like, a tournament.
Oh, no doubt. Especially in the fall. Come on. That's
Yeah,
when you go to showcases.
exactly. I mean, thinking
Yeah.
about I just kinda wanna touch on it one more time when with
Yeah.
going to a smaller school or school in which maybe you feel like wasn't what you wanted or thought you could, get to, and it's not where you go, but who you are. As you're
Hmm.
going through the inevitable highs and lows, as low as the drop ball, as high as the highest rise ball, and you're trying to figure out or trying to develop who you are, not just as a player, but as a person. And you're in this position where I'm gonna be an All-American, I'm going to be the first. It's never been done before. I think you have to have a different type of mentality and a different type of persistence to say, "I'm going to be the first." What did that look like for you?
Oh, that's the hard hitting stuff, AJ. I honestly, I really feel like the All American thing, number one, my proudest accomplishment. Literally, like I had got the trophy right.
There.
Like it makes me proud. Yeah, she cute.
So
I
cute.
am so proud of it. But I really feel like it was a byproduct of the love that I had for the game and the work that I was willing to put in. The goal, like I don't set goals like flimsily. Like it is very intentional. It's like I know when that comes out of my mouth when my dad and I are like, "Hey, here's my goal." and it's to become an All-American, that it was like, you can't just say it and not do anything about it. Like, if you're going to say this, you have to do something about it. And, you know, it was just a goal, but it wasn't like to be the, like, looking in hindsight and seeing like the first and only still, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like, here's a goal on the list, and then it just happened to be the first, you know?
Mm.
So just putting in the extra work and knowing what it was going to take, because I was going up against players that were, you know, shortstops at the big time programs at Oklahoma, at Arizona State, like UCLA. I was going up against those girls if I was going to get this award.
Did it ever discourage you?
I don't think so. I think I had to be realistic about it, that like, I have to play, not only do I have to play as well as them, I probably have to play better than them. And it wasn't necessarily a comparison, because I would never look at someone and be like, I got to be them or whatever. It was never a comparison. It was just realistic. Like, these All-American awards, they're very serious. So I think knowing that I had to literally hit the best in the entire country and go out, I don't remember how many errors I made, but it was low that year. Like, just make sure that I not only was playing as good as those players, but above and beyond, because I wasn't playing at the same kind of school that was playing against the same kind of competition. So I think it was just being realistic, understanding that there was a chance it wouldn't happen, and going out and doing the work and fighting for it anyway.
And before you said that, that was what came to my mind, understanding that it might not happen, but do it
Yeah.
anyway. And like I feel like
Yeah.
that's just like a testament to, whether, to your point, character. You say who you are, it kind of all comes back to that, not where you go, but who you are. It's like no
Mm.
one may not give you a pat on the back for putting that grocery cart back. Do it anyway. You know, someone may not
Yes.
see you giving out the dollar to someone in need, right? Maybe someone's not going to point that out, but do it anyway. Like, this is about character, it's about who you are, and I think that that all attributes
Yes.
to the type of player you are and what you can achieve once you realize that. Do it
Yes,
anyway.
I love that. Man, always put away your shopping cart. Period. But yeah, I love that, AJ. Yeah.
Even in the hot
Yeah.
Arizona heat, put
You
it
push
out
that
there.
baby back. Yep. You
Well,
got to do
looking
it.
back, not where you go, but who you are has certainly led you to some of the coolest places and the best opportunities of being who you are, from college to NPF, where I got to first meet Sam Fisher playing with the Akron Racers, to
Yeah.
Team USA, to then preparing for Athletes Unlimited and for the many, many years and games that you would play with them. How do you feel like all these different chapters of your life and your career help prepare you for the final chapter of Athletes Unlimited?
Mm. Gosh, I look at each of those things that you mentioned as like a new challenge, you know, and seeing like, can I rise to this challenge? Because, you know, the different levels that you play at, the different pitchers you face, and the different, you know, environments that you play in, it's all a new kind of challenge. So, you know, was I able to get it done at LMU? Absolutely. So then Team USA, you know, was it a fluke that I got it done at LMU? You know, now I'm playing against the best in the world. Can I compete here? Okay, was able to rise to the challenge. Okay, MPF, man, pro is a completely different ballgame than international, you know, figuring all those out. So to me, looking at those chapters very much symbolizes to me the ability to rise to a challenge. And it can be intimidating. I remember going overseas and playing in Japan, like the first half that I was there, and be like, holy crap, am I going to be able to do this? You know, because it is something. And I was able to, you know, dig deep and rise to the challenge. So I would say that there's just all of that. I've just had such, you know, I'm going to say pride again, because I look back in my final season that I had in 2024, looking back on all those things. Obviously you get nostalgic. You're like, oh, you know, remember my college days and remember this and remember that. And I look back and I'm like, I don't have one single regret, one single moment where I'm like, I wish I would have, you know, I wish I would have been happier that I was going to practice. No, man, like I was probably annoying because I was like, let's go, we're going to practice. Come on, guys, let's go. So all of that led me to, I feel so lucky that I was able to have a final chapter, and finish the way that I had always envisioned or dreamed once I knew that that could have been that retirement, could have been a possibility for me, because I know that not everybody gets it. And I don't take that lightly. I felt like, gosh, I felt so blessed and so lucky just the entirety of the season, because what, like, this is my life. That's crazy. That's how I was feeling the whole time.
I mean, you're one of only 7 players to have appeared in 100 or more AU games.
It's so
And
cool.
just continuing to add to your legacy in softball. When we're having the conversation about how much you love softball and how just excited you were to be out there to play, coming back every single year, what was probably your favorite part about stepping back on the field with AU?
Oh man, just like the opportunity was just unreal. Like to think that I could say, we had 60 players that were there, and that I was one of them. What an opportunity, because you look at anything else, like the MLB, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guys that are playing, and like that's still not a lot. So you think about 60 and you think about all the talented softball players that we've got. Like I felt every time I would pack my stuff up and get to my hotel room and, get ready to go put my stuff in my locker, I'm like, I'm so lucky. I get to do this. I'm in a position that I get to like throw a ball around and hit it for my job, for a few months. And it just, you never get, for me, I never got tired of like hearing my walk-up song and like seeing my name on the board and being announced and like number 52. I'm like, I just never ever got used to it, and or felt like it was any less special. Like literally every single time I got to hear Rocky Like a Hurricane, I was like, this is the best moment in my life. Every time.
So much so that that's in your bio. I don't know if I've ever seen someone's walk-up song be in their bio in my entire life.
I'm so passionate.
Yes.
If I like something, I'm making it my personality, man. It's just all in. It's all in or nothing.
And that's the lesson that we can all take. Completely, it's not where you go, but who you are. And a part of who you are is your walk-up song. Remember, ladies, it's important. That walk-up song, I don't want to say it
Yeah.
defines you, but it kind of does. So
Yeah.
pick wisely.
Make sure you pick. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes.
On top of playing, you also served as chair of the Players Executive Committee for 2 years. What went into being on the PEC? Like, what were your responsibilities, and how were you really able to kind of get a better understanding of the business and the inner workings of AU as a whole?
I really enjoyed being on the PEC. I didn't know, like, what's interesting is when I first joined Athletes Unlimited, like I had turned 30, and like my first time on the PEC. So like I had already kind of been around for a little bit. So getting to that point and being in a position that like people were asking us questions and then listening to our answers, that was like for me, it took some adjusting. It really did, because I was very much like, okay, I'm here. I don't want to cause any problems. I just want to play the softball. Like, okay, here's what to play. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm just saying, I have my ball. I'm going to go to the field. I'll be there. Thank you. And I was very much someone who, if there was something I felt like could have been better, or like even something simple as like maybe my pants were too small, I'd be nervous to go and be like, I'm so sorry, but like, could I get a bigger pair? Because I didn't want to lose my opportunity. And with such a small amount of players that are in the pro space, like it's a reasonable fear. Be like, well, you're causing too many problems. We'll literally find somebody else. So I had to break out of that. I had to start to feel like safe is kind of like a dramatic way to put it, but like safe to say, like, yeah, I think that uniform is ugly. And then be like, oh, okay, so let's work into it. I'm like, oh my God, you don't hate me? So being on the PEC, I think, really helped in my development, like as a person too, in that it's like, I'm not going to bother somebody by having an opinion. They could say, you know what, you're going to wear the ugly uniform. I'd be like, all right, well, at least I spoke my mind, So I think that being on that committee and being pushed to, break out and say things that I had all this experience. I'm 30 years old. I played so many places that I can then help. I can help our league. I can help the players. And we did things, we talked about things like, where were we going to play? What was the housing going to be like? What the uniforms, what are they going to look like? What kind of gear do the players want? Like literally everything we that touched the players, the PEC was talking about. And I fell in love. I was like, yeah, this is something that just, it kind of like lit a fire that I knew at some point I'm gonna have to stop playing. What am I gonna do? I would have loved to be, like a housewife. I didn't know because I'd always played softball. So how am I supposed to know what work I'm gonna do? And then being on the PEC was like, oh wait, this is the work that I want to do. And I loved being on it. It was an interesting position because you're still a player, but you're also kind of like part of decision making in some sense. But it really was such a well-rounded, important experience for me.
With AU, and you think about all your different moments, and what do you feel like most encapsulates or captures the essence or spirit of playing in AU and what the league stands for?
Gosh, you feel like you're more than a player, because as a player, as a person, that you're more than a player. You're a person who has wants and passions and things that you care about, as well as being a player with all this experience and the competitive nature of what it takes to be a professional softball player. So it feels like you're seen in all different aspects of who you are, not just like if you hit a home run or not. It's like, okay, that's just part of it. Like we care about you and we want to know how to make your experience really, really good so that you can have maybe longevity in how long you're going to play, or that if you don't want to play with us anymore, you feel good going out in the world because we support you. Like, do you need a reference? Do you need somebody to, help guide you? We're here for you. Even things like we got to play for a nonprofit, raise money for something that you care about, based on how you play. You play well, and they donate to a nonprofit of your choosing that is what you care about, that you chose. So I really feel like, my elevator pitch is kind of long, but it's truly like it's truly seeing you as what you are, which includes being a softball player, but also as a person.
You talk about whether you're on the field or thinking about life after softball. For you, as someone that has committed the R word, retired. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Because, this day and age, you actually never know what people are talking about. So, retirement. In your final playing seasons, take you back to 2024, on the last day, as you realize it's going to be your last game, you wake up in the morning, you tie your shoes, you eat your breakfast, you put on your clothes the same way, you put on your jersey the same way. At what moment did you realize that this thing that you've been doing since you were 4 years old, this was the last moment you're going to be doing it? And what seared through your mind in that moment?
I'm gonna cry. It's weird. I didn't cry. I didn't cry at all during this whole thing. But the way that you just talked about it, I'm like, wow, that's emotional. Um, I I just feel like when I was going through it, I was listening to my pump up music the same way that I would. Um, lots of Lil Wayne. Lots of Lil Wayne, you guys. And
Every millennial
I
understands. If you're a Gen Z, maybe
yeah.
you don't get it, but we all get it. That's millennial.
It's the only way. I don't
Yeah.
know how else to get pumped up.
Yeah.
But I had pulled my hamstring the day before, my last day. And I reflected a lot on it to where I'm like, is this sad? Or is this exactly what was supposed to happen? Because maybe it distracted me from the, the hugeness of retiring that I'm like, ow, to where I wouldn't be able to focus solely on like, holy cow, this is my last day I'm ever going to play a softball game. So I thought the universe really, really had its hands in the way that this weekend and the way that my final day went, because there was no way I was going to be able to play a full game. And I knew that because I had hurt myself I legged out a triple, AJ. I was safe. But what?
It's a key. It's a key thing to say. You were safe.
Oh, yeah, it's important. Because if I was thrown out and I pulled a hamstring, game over. I would have been so grumpy.
Like, I could actually retire right now, guys. We can
yeah,
just
you know what?
it.
Take me off in a stretcher. Like, seriously, it's embarrassing. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to play. And Georgina was the captain for my final weekend. And I talked to her. I was like, I am good enough to get in that bat in. And she put me fifth. I respect the heck out of her for still, because she wanted to win and I could have held us back. But she started me at third base. She put me fifth in lineup, and it just like was so perfect. Like the day was so perfect. I hobbled up. I led off the second inning, so I didn't get in at bat until the second inning of the game, and I got to hear my walk-up song play so much because when you lead off, you get more of your song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, number one, perfect. I got to a 3-0 count, and I'm like, am I gonna walk to end this? Is this how I'm gonna end this, on a walk? That's so uncharacteristic. And I ended up going 3-1. I got a pitch to hit, and I got a single up the middle, and I hobbled to first base. And I remember thinking, like, this day is just perfect. Like, this day was perfect. And all the things that because the way that you described it was the way that I had been thinking about it leading up to it. Like, I'm going to be a wreck. You're going to have to carry me off the field. Like, it's going to be too emotional. And then I lived it, and I was like, it's perfect.
I feel like retirement can be something that's so tricky, whether it's from college to pro to high school, honestly, high school, college to pro, because there's so many different levels and different moments when we kind of all realize, okay, this is probably going to be my final game of the sport that I've known my entire life. And I was reading this one poem. I'm just going to read like a couple excerpts from it, just because I feel like it hopefully like makes some people feel better, or like having this conversation with you, you realize like what's beyond the horizon can be bigger and better and greater than what you've experienced behind it. So this part, it says, the dust on my uniform, a medal of might, a story of games played in the day and the night. Each slide, each error, each perfect hit is a lesson in life and a virtue of grit. But the last inning's over, the final out's made. The memories and triumphs will never fade. The diamond will call, but the answer's no more. A different horizon waits just outside the door. So hang up the bat, the helmet and gear, and hold to the lessons I learned throughout the years. For the person I am, for cheer on this land, is the person I'll be, with or without the bat in my hand.
Oh my God. That was wonderful.
But I think it just, to me, it kind of like circles back to what we said in the beginning. It's not where you go, but who you are. And I mean, I feel like that can be used not just in like this reference of a school, but in life. Like, it doesn't matter where you go in life, whether it's play on the softball field or beyond, but it's who you are and what you take through that. And you can be that with or without the bat. And as you described retirement and how the universe kind of all came together, it was like that right moment. When did you realize that this would probably be the last year for me? Like, make the decision.
When I got home from the 2023 season, and I'm unpacking my stuff and getting back in the routine of hanging out with my husband, I said it to him. I was like, yeah, good Kev. He's always listening to me talk about softball, man. But I remember saying it out loud to him, and I hadn't said it out loud at all before. And I was like, I think next season's going to be it. And it was like, yeah, that like saying it out loud didn't feel weird. It didn't feel forced. It was like very much you're saying something that you didn't even know you were really thinking about. And I was like, yeah, that feels right. And then the more time went on, I was like, yeah, nope, this is it. And then the way that everything played out, it very much was it. Like I don't have, I mean, am I going to want to play softball the rest of my life? Absolutely. But I don't have any of those feelings of like, I got to get out there. Like I'm going to come out of retirement or whatever. Like I very much felt so confident when I said it out loud to Kevin at the first time that I did after the 2023 season, that I was like, all right, I'm like starting to close the book. And when I closed the book, I was like, all right, it was the best book I've ever read, but it had to end, you know?
And you are a novice of books, shall I say? Yes.
Yeah, truly, truly.
For those just listening, she just pointed to her bookcase of all of her amazing books. How, if you were to have this conversation with someone that is deliberating whether next year is going to be their last year, or are kind of sometimes even forced into retirement from maybe an injury or from for health reasons,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to them to make it a little less scary?
Oh, that's gosh. I think what's really cool, and like you just said, is that people can retire for different reasons, or people can end their careers for different reasons. So meeting people where they are, because my retirement looks the way for me because it's mine. But other people, you know, that I believe so much in trusting your gut. So if I was talking to somebody who maybe is deliberating or might be needing to come to terms with it, like listen to your gut. Like you'll know. Like it's so cheesy when you know,
Mhm.
but like it's also
It's
real.
true.
Like
Yeah.
you'll know if it's right. You'll know if you're forcing it. I'm a big believer in a pro con list, to where you can really be like factual about it, you know, because if you can't make a decision, like sometimes you might be playing a certain, you know, at a certain level that's good enough to keep going, but the feelings that come with it, or like the cons might start to outweigh things. And that could also be a time to be like, maybe it's not worth it anymore. You know, like there's a lot of things that I think go into ending your career, but I would say first and foremost, trust your gut, say it out loud, you know, let it marinate. It's not a decision that is impulsive or quick. It shouldn't, and it shouldn't be. I would hope that it wouldn't be for anybody that is making the decision, that it should be thought about and sat on and slept on, and said out loud, and just like, how, you know, how does it feel? Because then at the end of the day, like you can, I just, anybody who makes a decision to make them feel better is that they put the right amount of thought into it so that they don't look back with regret. That's the one thing that I would just hate for people, that they had any change of heart or like wished that they would have done something different because they didn't think about it.
I think it's, to your point, being able to say it out loud and see how you feel. Because there's times when you say something out loud, it's like, that didn't even sound right. Like,
Right.
you like, you know,
That was stupid.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
what the hell was I thinking? That didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. Next, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Versus if you say it out
Absolutely.
loud, it's like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Or you say it out loud and it resonates with you more than you actually thought it would. Whereas women,
Yes.
our intuition never lies to us, and it's something,
Never.
I think what it I've read something where it says to like kind of tell the difference between whether it's your intuition or your anxiety is your anxiety speaks to you in questions, your intuition speaks to you in statements.
Oh.
So it's,
Whoa.
it'll feel more like, if it's more of an anxious thought or anxious decision, it'll be like, is this what I want to do? Okay, well, what about da da da? Versus if you say it in into your intuition, it's like, you've had a great, this has been a great X amount of years.
Wow.
You've done all the things you can do. If next year your body just doesn't want to do it, just doesn't want to, it's more of like speaking to you rather than you having these questions. And so
That's
I
amazing.
think your point of saying it out loud allows you to deliberate a little bit better.
Totally. Get it out there, put it into the world, you know? But that's wow, I like what you said. That's really impactful.
And also being able to understand that that's not it. I know when we played the sport, since we could walk, it seems like, okay, well, I really don't know what else to do. But you
Truly.
are also, again, another example, the formidable Sam Fisher, of showing that there's always more. You can still be in the sport without having to play it, as you've transitioned from player to manager of softball operations. What are your roles now? And how has the shift been for you?
I I love my job. I work directly for the commissioner for
I was gonna
Kimming,
say, I feel like
and
every picture I see, you're right behind Kim.
yeah, she had no idea what she was getting into when she hired me because I was like, I'm gonna make you my best friend.
Well,
There's
you have no
really you don't
choice.
have a
Yeah.
choice. Yeah, sorry, it's in my contract. But I remember when Kim came on, I was still in the PEC, and so she was starting to join our meetings and stuff. And I was like, this is a person that I need to be around her. Like I don't care if it's getting her coffee. Like that's the job that I want to do. So I bugged her that summer. I said, "Hey girl, I'm retiring, so like I want to work for you. I don't know what that means. I don't have a clue what it means, but I want to work for you." And then, season's getting closer to ending. I'm like, "Hey girl."
Just yeah, it's like when you send those emails, like, "Just wanna bring this to the top of your just bring this to the
Yeah.
top of your email, just let you know I
Yep.
still work for you."
Exactly. Little refresh.
Yeah.
So a few weeks after I retired, Kim called. I was like, "All right, you ready?" I was like, "Yes. I've never been more ready. What am I
Yeah.
doing?"
I feel like you probably said that verbatim too. Like,
Oh,
absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Kim, so wait, just quick question. What am I doing?
What's my job?
Yeah.
Tell me what to do. I'll do it. And because you look at her and everything that she's accomplished, and I'm like, yeah, how could I not want to work for her, learn from her, and just be like right by her side as she's leading us into this amazing chapter of professional softball. Like has to be my best friend. So I get to be involved in pretty much everything that goes into the league. Like uniform. I'm still involved with like making sure that the uniform, working with equipment, working with marketing, working with ticketing, working with the athletes, working with operations of like, all right, how many balls do we need? What time are we going to practice? How long should practice be? Like, how should we schedule off days or like travel? What is that going to look like? Like, I try to explain it as like I'm just so nosy that I just have my nose in every part
Yeah.
of the softball part. So I deal a lot with the general managers. Like I manage a lot of those relationships and help them get their job done. So I get to really kind of have a little piece in everything that goes into putting on our season and with our players. I feel like I have a very special position with this role because I can still have the relationship with the players and I can be somebody that they trust, or that if they need to go to somebody and they're not quite sure who to go to, like they can always go to me. And that's my favorite part of my job. But yeah, mostly just like adding Kim on speed dial and be like, "Hey girl."
You can just hang out with Kim.
Yeah, that part. That's the second best part of the job.
I mean, there's been so much innovation and so many different brands coming on and wanting to support it. I mean, not just brands, leagues, MLB coming on and wanting to support AUSL. When you think
Yeah.
about innovation and growth for 2026, what are you most excited for that you've been working on?
We are expanding from 4 to 6 teams, so I'm really really excited for that. I'm so excited that there's going to be more opportunity for players and for us to grow, and that we did well enough in 2025 that we can go forward and do this. So I'm excited for 6 teams. I'm really excited. Like the way that the players reacted to the Sephora partnership was really, really fun to watch. And that was very much towards the end of the season. So I'm really excited to see kind of like what a meaningful partnership looks like with Sephora, with the players. They were so excited about it. But also like the MLB, growing up as a softball player, like if you're not watching, like there wasn't a lot of softball to watch when we were growing up. So you're watching the MLB. Like my idols were baseball players growing up because that's what I watched. And I have always looked at the MLB like the dream, and I've learned so much through this partnership with the MLB that they're like, they want to be invested in us. Like they want to be a part of us rather than us feel like, we're not begging. Like I feel like as softball players, there's so much where we're like, please, please give me scraps,
Yeah.
But this MLB thing with how they've just like put us out there and kind of like taken a big brother role and like, come on, like you're coming with us and we're going into this together, rather than us, us having to beg them or having to like tiptoe and be like, oh, I hope they don't drop us. It's been very like collaborative, and that part is really, I mean, I still don't really know that I have the right words for it because of because of my relationship with the MLB growing up, watching it. Like it's October, what's on in my house. So that like I hold the MLB so close to my heart, and to know that they are, helping us and partnering with us and celebrating us has been 2025 was a ride, man. So
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
really excited to see what we can continue to do in 2026 with these amazing people who have seen us for everything that we've seen us for. Like we know the product we put on the field. We know what our athletes can bring. And so that they're seeing that too, and that we're showing it, and we're proving what we've always known.
I feel like you came out with the biggest of bangs, and now it's just gotta so just keep letting off the fireworks. I feel like it's almost, like the start of
Yes.
a fireworks show where it's like, "Ooh, it's happening."
Yeah.
And like all the things are coming, all
Yeah.
things are coming, and then you get to that big, big finale. It just keeps coming, keeps getting bigger. I feel like
Oh,
it's gonna just keep getting bigger. I don't know when the finale is gonna be,
yeah.
but hopefully it's not for a long time.
I know.
And then
I know.
it's just we have from 8 teams. Do you feel like is is 6 the perfect number? What do you feel like would be, like, the perfect number of teams to get to in X amount of years?
It's I've always known myself to be a dreamer, but I've never really dreamt past what we're doing now because I've only ever known 6 teams. Like when we were in the MPF, we were in the race, there were 6 teams. Like,
Mhm.
so seeing past that is I want to see past it. I don't know I think it'd be really cool to get to 12, and maybe have like, Eastern Western or like something like that, like American and National League, like something to where it's a little bit more, you're not playing the same people all the time.
Mhm.
But I think that could be really cool. But I think 6 is going to be a really, really cool place to be for a little while of making sure that we, that we're stable. Like growing from four to 6, it's like that's growing 50%. Like that's a lot. So seeing how 6 teams goes, I think it's going to be really fun, and it's going to be really insightful to see like, oh yeah, we could do 8. Okay, we could do 10. Okay, we could do 12, So I think 12 feels kind of right saying it, that maybe one day, because that means that there's roster spots for so many pro softball players with the way that the talent that we have and that we've always had, that they can go and maybe play some ball for a while.
Heck yeah. What do you I mean, I don't know if you're involved in the process, but what if you are, what goes into selecting who it is you're going to be drafting for these past 4 teams, and then what it may look like or if it's going to change for the 6?
Yeah, it's actually been been a really fun part of my job, is getting our GMs all the information that they could need about the players that are out there. So the GMs and the head coaches are really making the decisions about the talent. And that's been really fun because with the 4 teams, that's 8 different brains working. And so with 6 teams, having 12 different brains working and 12 different networks and perspectives and stuff. So that they've really done the work on building the talent and building the rosters. And oh, hey Sam, can you reach out to this person and see if they're interested, and then kind of working that way and making sure that everybody has everything that they need to make that decision, which that's what I love. You talked earlier about like the technology and the data that we didn't have. Well, there's so
So
much.
much now, yeah.
There's so much now that that they can do their research and see these players and be able to, determine if they're ready for the pros. And yeah, so the GMs, it's a really like feels like a very new position for pro softball where there's designated things that a GM gets to do that, and part of that is building the team. So that's been really fun. I like sitting back and watching them talk. I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Oh, I like, that makes sense. Or, stuff like that.
It's really cool to be able to for you to be able to dive into college and to get all that information. What I think is cool about AUSL is everybody's still so involved that people just
Yeah.
know versus, MLB, you have scouts that have to do those things for you, right?
Mm,
To go out and try to find this information or for you to see who is this, who's the top tier, who's number one ranked, XYZ. But within AUSL, you have a lot of athletes that are coaches. The
yeah.
coaches and GMs are also coaches at colleges. So they're playing against these individuals constantly and seeing the talent constantly. I imagine that helps a little bit or a lot.
Totally.
Okay.
Oh, totally. Like, yeah, because you have no choice but it to be in your face for the most part. You're like, and if they're not coaches or whatever, they're broadcasting. Like, they're around the game all
Right.
the time. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. That helps so much.
Well, Sam, now we're going to go into my favorite segment of the no fly zone segment
I love
because
that.
whether you're at shortstop, third base, or first base, one thing you're going to do is you're going to lay your body on the line to make sure it is a no fly zone from laying it out, falling, tripping. It doesn't matter. Wherever the ball is, just your mentality to hitting, I feel like, is the same on the field. You just go hard for it, baby. Maybe not swing
Yeah,
hard, but go
exactly.
hard.
Yep, exactly.
What is your favorite play that you've made in your career?
Man, it's so funny because you're right. Like, I love hitting. I love defense. Okay, my senior year of college, we're playing CSUN in a doubleheader, Cal State Northridge, and we went into extras. So we were home, it was at LMU, and we're in like the ninth inning, and they laid a bunt down. And I'm at short. I ran over to cover third because they've got a runner on second, right? So we're in international tiebreaker, runner at second, they bunt the ball. I yell at our third baseman. I'm like, throw it to me. 3-3-3. She throws it to me. I tag the runner out. Heck yeah. But the batter who bunted the ball, nobody's at second base. So she starts to take off. So I just sprinted across the field with the ball and got her in a pickle and ended up tagging her out for a double play. We ended up winning the game then like in our next at bat because that was just like kind of a momentum shift. But I just remember like being involved in that play and thinking like this was so fun because it was impactful for the game, but also I just like I don't know what happened. I just ran across the field like a mad woman and got and then tagged out the bunter. And that was a fun play. I really enjoyed
Did
that
that
one.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And
a
you had
good
to
one.
show off
Well,
your speed a little bit.
yeah, I'm like, you guys, don't give me a pinch runner. Look out. I'm just running across the field. Get out of my way. Here I come. Like, yeah, I love defensive plays that are like, like you make, like just flying through the air and catching the ball. And I also really love like brain plays, which that's something I felt like on that play, like I was able to, physically make the play, but I also felt like I used my brain and I really loved those plays.
We love big brain plays. Big
Yeah.
brains, big brains.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, also, I mean, aside from being able to utilize your big brain for being able to get the runner out for a double play, you also need to use it in order to overcome failure. And in the game of softball, it is inevitable. So for you, what would you say is probably your favorite failure that has ultimately led you to maybe some of your biggest successes?
Oh, man, so much failure. Um
Where do I start, AJ?
yeah. Um I did not make Team USA in 2013. I made it in 2012 after I graduated college, and then I went back for tryouts in 2013 and I got cut. And that was a mega failure. That was like a total, oh my God, what do I do? And it's funny having this conversation in 2025 because I had to face like, is that it? Am I just done playing softball? Like I'm not going back to school? There's one team in America that I want to be on with 17 players that I think probably everybody else wants to be on that team. So what do I do? And I had to, number one, answer that question, like, am I done playing softball? And the answer was very clearly no. Like that saying that out loud was disgusting.
Yeah.
And so I had to figure out how to make Team USA again. And what was that going to take from me that I hadn't done before? And so I had always thought of myself as a hard worker with a good work ethic, and I could do the things that weren't glamorous, blah blah blah. But how could I kick it up a notch? And in 2013 summer into 2014, I like, honestly, I kicked my own ass. Like I also started going to therapy. I was like, you know what, Sam, let's just go all in. Let's go and let's face whatever we need to face. And you gotta put your best foot forward. So I went through a year of like insanity and figuring out my new normal and my new routine. And then in 2014, I was invited back to try out and I made the team. And the rest, as they say, here we are 11 years later. And had I not been cut from the team in 2013, just a mega huge failure, I would not have had the successful career that I had, because I had to really look at what the past was the past. Like everything that made me successful at LMU and in high school and travel ball, that's done. That chapter is closed. I need to write the chapter and look towards what's next in the sequel, if you will. And 2013 into 2014, really, I was forced to, and I rewrote the Sam Fischer routine, and it paid off like greatly.
Rewrote the Sam Fischer routine. That reminds, I love that. I feel like that's something that everybody can utilize. Sometimes it's not a no, it's just a not yet. And it's what you do in between the no and not yet that is going to eventually elongate the not yet. So it could be in 1 year, could be in 2 years, or it could be in 10, whatever it is. But you have to rewrite. Would you say rewrite
the Sam Fischer routine?
The Sam Fischer routine, what that looks like to really lock in. Sam, you've dropped a lot of diamonds today on this podcast. I want to say thank you so much. Always so excited to talk to you and to see your face. And when it comes down to the affirmation, I mean, I feel like we've said a lot. It could either be, just swing hard, baby. Go out there and swing hard. High balls, low balls, drop, rise, in, out, doesn't matter. Swing hard. But the biggest diamond I feel like really resonated with me, and something that we can all circle back to, is it doesn't matter where you go, it just matters who you are. And if you have to rewrite what that looks like for you, rewrite it over and over again so that your no can turn into your yes. So keep going till the not yet turns into a yes. Sam, thank you so much for joining me and dropping your diamonds.
Thank you for having me. This is great. And I think the world of you, and I want that to make sure that's recorded, because I think that what you do is incredible, because it's not just at the ball field that grows the game and gives, it's everything else. And my God, what you've done with your platform has been so impressive. And it's really, really cool to watch you do your thing, because it's so impactful. So I just want you to know that. And I love you.
Oh, I love you more. Sam, thank you again for dropping your diamonds and for being who you are. Thank you. And for everyone who's listened today, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Let's continue the conversation on Instagram at Dropping Diamonds Pod. And remember, it's not where you go, but who you are. Rewrite as many times so that no goes into the not yet and turns into your yes. Thank you guys so much. I'll meet you here next week back at the Diamond. Bye for now.